Ahoy there, cruise fans, and welcome back to my channel where I try to bring you the latest and greatest news from the cruising world. Today is Monday, March 13th, and on today's episode, we have two cruise lines opening up new destinations in the Bahamas. We have a magician that was tackled during a performance. We have a virus that struck a Princess cruise ship, and Celebrity Cruise is doing their part to save the whales. So whether you're a seasoned sailor or a newbie, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's dive into today's news. So first up, the two cruise lines that are going to be doing the new beach resorts in the Bahamas is going to be Royal Caribbean, which they are building a new private beach resort in Nassau. And I think I say that right, Nassau. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And then the Disney Cruise Line, they are building a new resort called Lighthouse Point, and that is going to be right next to Princess Cay, which is the Princess Cruise Line's private beach resort. So if you've been cruising for a while, you know that every cruise line has their own, private beach in the Bahamas. Royal Caribbean right now has Coco Cay. They're gonna have this new one in Nassau, which is supposed to be open up in 2025. Well, the Disney Cruise Line, they have Castaway Cay, and they are opening a new one right next to Princess Cay, which is the Princess Cruise Line's private beach. And the Disney one is going to call Lighthouse Point, and that one is going to be opening up in 2024. These two new ones are going to be the same. You know, a lot of these have water parks. They got cabanas you can rent. It's a day you can get off the ship and you can just go relax by the beach. You can go on excursions, scuba dive and stuff like that. And so, as I said previously, the Disney one will be open in 2024, and then the new Royal Caribbean one in Nassau is going to be open in 2025. So next up, a magician was tackled during one of his performances on a Royal Caribbean cruise last week. I'll put the video up. But basically what happened is the musician, why do I say musician? The magician did a magic trick where he had a female audience member come up on stage. The guy watching, which I am assuming is the female's partner, boyfriend, husband, whatever, didn't really like that. Probably got jealous, didn't like the magician getting that close to his wife, girlfriend, and so took matters in his own hands. I think the worst part of this story, though, is later on, nothing happened to this guy, right? He got kicked out of the show, but then passengers said they saw him partying and enjoying the rest of his cruise. So the magician was tackled, could have possibly been hurt, but then nothing happened to this guy. Kind of like... Oh, wow! Wow! So I'm assuming this guy on this ship was probably a high roller, because I guarantee you if that was me that tackled the performer, I would probably be locked in my room. Next up, if you've ever thought about traveling on a cruise to Australia, sorry, I'm sick and I'm having trouble pronouncing the words, but have you ever wanted to travel on a cruise to Australia? Be careful what you're bringing into that country. They have very strict laws as far as what you can bring in for plants and stuff like that. Some passenger discovered that the hard way on the Carnival Luminosa. It traveled from New Zealand and was making a port stop in Australia, and the passenger was fined $3,300. Well, what do they have? They must have had drugs or cocaine or weed or something. Nope, this is what they had. They had 2 live plants, a coconut shell, some seed pods, betel nut, mustard sticks, shells, coral, and dried plant materials. If you're traveling to these foreign ports, make sure you understand what you can and cannot bring into the country, because $3,300 for some 2 live plants and some souvenirs for all intents and purposes, that's pretty expensive, and it definitely isn't worth it in my opinion. So just something to keep in mind as you go to Australia. They're very strict on what you can and can't bring into the country. So next story up is I know cruise ships, they can be, I guess, a petri dish, for lack of better terms. If somebody gets sick on there, it's pretty easy for it to go rampant throughout the cruise ship because everybody is kind of isolated in this one spot. It's easy for germs and viruses to pass from passenger to passenger because everybody's in closed quarters, right? So on this one, on the Ruby Princess, which is Princess Cruise Line's ship, this ship took off out of Galveston last week. It has approximately 4,000 people on it, or 4,000 passengers. And of the 4,000, 300 people got sick. They got a GI infection or gastrointestinal disease that caused intense vomiting and diarrhea. As soon as they realized that there was an increased number of people going to the medical facility with GI issues, Princess initiated an enhanced cleaning regimen to try to stop it. So only about 10% of the ship, a little less than 10%, right? 300 passengers got sick, intense vomiting, diarrhea. They were able to stop the spread, which is still pretty scary though, right? Because everybody comes together to eat the buffet. Everybody's hanging out at the pool together. Everybody's at the bar together, you know. Everybody's walking by because, you know, on a ship, there's only so many places you can go. Luckily, Princess caught it early, and they were able to enact their enhanced cleaning and stop the transmission before it caused too much damage. If you talk to those 300 people that got sick, they probably didn't enact it soon enough, but I guess that's a risk you take when you go on a cruise ship. Luckily, it wasn't coronavirus though. They said it was the Norovirus. Once again, all's well that ends well. Had a couple days probably, if you were one of the guys that got sick, a couple bad days on the toilet in the bathroom, and then you recover and you go about your way. And so let's end this episode on a positive note. So Celebrity Cruises is doing their part to save the whales. Right now, it is the whale migration season in the Pacific Northwest. I think they migrate, I think it was February to May. So Celebrity Cruises is adjusting their cruising speed. They're slowing it down to protect the migrating whales, which helps prevent ship strikes, which is a leading cause of death for threatened and endangered whales off the California coast. So I think that's a big deal. They might lose some money because they're not going to get to spend 2 nights in San Francisco. You know, they're not going to make the ports. I think they're skipping another port stop, so they might lose money like that, but they're saving the whales. Like, you can't be mad at them for that, right? And so if you stuck with me, I appreciate it. I know I sound nasally today. I'm getting over a sickness. Hopefully I didn't mispronounce words or stumble too much or whatever. You were able to understand this. But that's it for today's show. And I just want to thank you for watching. Once again, if you made it this far, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love doing this. I love researching cruise news and passing it on to you guys. Hopefully you find it entertaining. And if you do, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Once again, I just want to say thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the Lido deck. Have a great day. Thanks.